So what's the difference between a post and a page? They both look pretty similar and they both have the same editor window. So here we are creating a new post. We can enter a title for our post up the top here as we would do for a page. And here we have our editor window, which is identical to the same window we have in the pages section. We've also got a lot of very similar content available on the right hand side down here. So why do we have pages and posts? Well, it's a good question. If we look back at the front end of our website, it will help me try and explain the difference between the two. Now, pages would tend to be static pages that you'd have, say, for instance, on your navigation bar, so things like the About Us page, a Contact Us page, your store, sort of general parts of your website which are always going to be there. Whereas posts would tend to be things like blog articles, so information about perhaps your latest news, any latest product releases, any blog articles generally. That is kind of what a post will tend to be. So I'm going to show you how to create a post now so you can see how it would differ from doing a page. So if I open up Microsoft Word, here's an article that I've put together about how to add a Google map to your website, and I'm going to put this as one of my blog posts on my website. So we're going to copy this in exactly the same way that we would do for a web page. So we're going to simply drop in the title where prompted. So we go back to the back end of our website, go to a post section, and we're going to add a new post. We're going to simply right click and paste that title in there, and for the content we're going to simply copy that from Word and we're going to drop that in. And then we can continue pasting and formatting the wording in this window as we would do for a page, so things like adding bold, adding any images, aligning the font, adding any hyperlinks if necessary. So we can do all of that exactly as we would do for a page. Now, this time when I publish my post, and if we go to view the website, the front end of our website, and typically your post will probably appear on your home page as a standard default. That tends to be where they'll be shown. And you can set your home page to only show a certain number of posts at a time. Now that's great, so we've got an article on the web page, but we're probably going to want to put some sort of image there as well. So we can also add images to your posts. So let's look at how we do that. So to go back and edit a post, we can go back to a post section and find our post from the list of posts here. Click the edit option to edit that post. Now to add an image, or a featured image I should say, to this post, you just click on the set featured image link there, and we can then upload a file from our computer, or we can add one from a media library. Now I'm just going to choose one that's already uploaded to my website, so I'm going to choose this picture of a country mansion, and I'm going to set that as my featured image by clicking on that button on the bottom right of the screen. And once that featured image is there, it gives you a preview, and then you can save that by clicking the update button. And if we now view that post, it looks very similar to a page, except for the fact it tells your website visitors who posted it, so it will probably have your name there, a date, which category the post is in, and you can create numerous different categories for your posts. We'll go into that in a little bit. And there's also an option for your web visitors to add comments on your posts. Now if we go back to the home page and just take a look at how that post now looks on the home page, we've now got an image on the home page. So you can see how suddenly your home page can be filled with some of your latest news, so your latest product information, and any of your latest company news or blog articles generally. So if we now click on the link to view that post, that will take you straight through to the post itself, And this time, to edit the post, we're going to click on Edit Post from the top of the screen, just to go back, in the same way we would do for pages. So that is kind of the nuts and bolts of what a post is and how you can create a post. Next, we're going to look at how to add categories to posts. So, what are categories and why would you need them? Well, categories are a way that you can group your posts under single headings. So, for example, you may want to create a heading for homepage posts so that you can create posts specifically for your homepage. You may also want to create categories for different topics. So, for example, at Selfie websites, perhaps we want to create a category for website tips, which could be articles that we want to post on our blog. But we also may want a category for client news, which we only really want to post on our client area of Selfie websites. So we can create another category for that. And you can create as many categories as you want for any topic that you like. So, at a basic level, let's create a couple of new categories now and see how we can define which posts appear on the home page based on that category. So, to add a new category, within the post section, there's an option under categories to add a new category. Now, currently there'll always be one for uncategorized, but we can add some new ones. You can also add categories by going to this posts section in your toolbar and choosing the category section here. That will allow you to add and edit categories on your website. Now we're just going to go down here and create and add a new category from this option here. And we're going to call this category homepage. Let's call it homepage posts. And let's create add new category to add a new category. So now we've got a new category, homepage posts and uncategorized. Let's create a second category for website tips, and let's add that category as well. Now, we don't have to have this article showing in all three categories. We can then untick which categories we don't want and only tick those ones we do want. So let's make the Google Map post. Let's choose that as a homepage post and let's update that. So that's one post. I've now got another post that I'm going to add a category to. So if we go to edit, and this is a second post that I've created on how to add a YouTube video to your website. For now, I've just copied in the same text we had on the previous post, but you'll see under the category section we've got the same options now. We can choose a homepage posts or website tips or uncategorized. So let's put this under website tips, and let's put it under homepage posts as well, and just see what difference that's going to make on the homepage. So we now click update to save that. And if we now go to our home page and take a look, now our home page is currently showing both posts, but what if this Google Map web, adding a Google Map to your website post was the only one we wanted on the home page, but we didn't want to show this one? Perhaps this was a different article we wanted just to appear on our blog, but not on our home page. How would we do that? Well, if we go to edit the post by clicking through to it, choose edit post, and let's take it off homepage posts. So let's just leave it on website tips and let's update that. If we now go back to the homepage and take a look, it will look exactly the same. Nothing has changed. But why is that when we've created a category for homepage posts and this one isn't in it? So why is it on our homepage? Now that's because our settings are configured and it doesn't know which category you want to put on the homepage. So currently it's showing all categories. So how do you go and define which categories appear on your homepage? Now to do that, we're going to go to the back end of our website, and under the appearance section we're going to choose your theme options, and this will be whatever theme you're using followed by theme options. Click on that. That will take you through to the e-panel. Now from the e-panel, within general settings, click on your homepage tab and from here you can specify which categories of posts appear on your homepage. Now, as you can see, it's currently set to include website tips and homepage posts. So if we untick website tips, and now we save that, if we now go back to the homepage, and let's take a look. And this time, the only post showing is the one we ticked for the homepage, because in those settings we've configured it so only the category for homepage posts is showing on the homepage. Now, you could create any categories you want and have those showing on the homepage if that's what you want. Hopefully that's helped to explain what categories are and how you can use them to display different posts on your website. Now, some of our themes come with a slider on your homepage, which is an image slider that displays images on your homepage, and that can be related to your posts. So what I wanted to show you now is how you can use posts to effectively build your slider. Now, currently our slider is blank, there's nothing here. That's because we haven't added any posts to it. So let's go ahead and add some now. So we're going to go in the back end again, and this time we're going to go back to posts, and I'm going to go in the editor post, and we're going to create a new category, and this time I'm going to create a category for slider. So let's add a new category, and let's call that slider. Let's click add new category, and that's added this post to that category. Now we're going to click update to update that, and now we're going to go back to our post section, and let's do the same thing for a second post. Let's choose slider, let's update, and now we've selected 2 posts in our slider category, but again, as we did on the home page, we need to define which category of posts the slider is going to pick up. Now, to do that, again, we're going to go under appearance and to your theme options, and if your theme has a slider, under the E panel you'll have an option here for featured slider. If you click through to that, now you can use pages to build your slider, or you can use posts. Now if you want to use pages, just click here to have this enabled as it is now, but what we're going to do is add posts, so we're going to disable pages, so instead of using pages it will use posts. We can now specify which category of posts we want in our slider. So we can choose slider from this option, that's the post category we just created. You can then specify how many featured slides. So we could have created 10 posts and put them under the category of slider, but we may only want to display 5 at a time. So you can set that to however many you want. Now, we've only got 2 posts, but that doesn't matter. It's only going to display 2. If we scroll down a bit further, we've got the option to have the slider animation automatic, which means it will slide on its own without the user having to scroll. So we're going to keep that as enabled. You can then choose how long you want between the duration between one slide and the next slide. Now, currently that's set to 7 seconds, so it's 7,000 milliseconds, which is quite a long time. I'm going to change that to 4 just to show you how it looks a bit quicker. And you can then, what you'll find in a lot of the sliders is you can choose what effect you want, so feel free to have a little play with different effects to see how that looks on your website. I'm just going to choose fade for now, and we're going to save that. So we now go and take a look at our home page, and let's see our slider in action. Okay, so here's one of our blog posts. So as you can see, we've got the title of the post, and then followed by the first sort of paragraph or so of the actual article itself, and then a link through to the article, and then we have an image showing. Not this one, but here we have an image showing. But you may be wondering, why have I not got an image on this blog, but we've got an image on this blog? Now, that relates to your featured image that we showed you earlier. So in order to make an image show there, you need to add a featured image to that blog post. So let's go back, or let's go through into that post and let's edit that post, and let's add a featured image. Now in the same way we did before, to add a featured image, we're going to scroll down through a post to set featured image, and we're going to choose any image. So you can either upload a file from your computer, or you can choose one that you've already uploaded to your website. So I'm just going to choose this image here of a big wheel, and I'm going to click set featured image to set that image. So if I now update that post and we take a look again at our home page, what we'll see is that image will now be in our slider. So there's our image of a big wheel, followed by the image of a country house. And that's how you can add posts to your slider. So one final thing I wanted to show you in relation to the slider was how you can change the ordering of the slides. So you may have 4 or 5 different images here, but you may want to change which order they appear. So currently we have a country house appearing first, and then we have a big wheel appearing second. But what if we wanted the big wheel to appear first? How would we do that? Okay, so let's go through to a posts section again and take a look at the posts themselves. So this first one here, we click through to edit that post. This is the picture of a country house. Now by default, the most recent post that you published will appear first. So this was published on the 10th of March 2015. So if we now go back to our posts and have a look at the second post and see when that was published, this one was published on the 9th of March. So that's the big wheel. So all we need to do is change the date on the country house to a date that was before the 9th of March instead of a date after. So let's go back to that post. Let's click to edit it. And let's change the date by clicking edit. So it's saying the 3rd month, which is March, and here's the date, 10. So let's change that to the 8th of March and click OK. And if we now update and take a look at our home page, we'll see that the order has changed. The big wheel now appears first and the country house second. So that's how you can change the ordering of your posts on the slider. Now since we're on the subject of a featured slider, the last thing I wanted to show you was how you can use pages instead of posts on your slider. Now I know technically this tutorial is about posts, but I thought since we're in here anyway, it wouldn't hurt to mention it. So we're back with an ePanel and featured slider. Now we previously ticked this or unchecked this box here to disable using pages, so effectively we're using posts instead of pages. So if we now enable that, so it's going to use pages, we can ignore the featured category because it's no longer using posts, instead it's going to use pages. Number of featured slides, again we can define how many slides appear on our home page. And then here we have an option to choose which pages on our website we want to appear in our slider. So currently we've only got 4 pages built on our web page, so let's tick About Us and let's tick Meet the Team. Again, you can choose to have the slider animation automated or not, and you can choose the duration between the slides and the slide animation. Now once you click Save to save that change, your slider will now use pages instead of posts. So our slider on our home page is now using pages instead of posts, but once again we've got no images. So much like we did on posts, all we're going to do to add the images is go to the actual page itself. We're going to click to edit that page, and we're going to add a featured image in exactly the same way. So let's add a featured image for this page. And don't forget to update to save that change. So that's one of our images created for our slider. So let's go back to our home page. And as you can see, the second page now has the image that we created. Now, in much the same way, you may want to change the ordering that your slides appear. In order to do that, there's a different way of doing that for pages. If you go through to a page itself and choose Edit Page, instead of specifying a date for your page, this time, within Page Attributes, you've got an ordering number, and you can use the ordering numbering to define which slides appear first. So number 1 would appear first, number 2 second, number 3 third. And that's how you can add pages in your slider instead of posts.